federal government introduced a bill that could become law on June 6th. Why is that historic for the CMA?
On behalf of our 80,000 members, we were really able to spend time understanding their views, engaging them in a meaningful process of deliberation and dialogue, coming up with some recommended approaches, and then advocating for those approaches on a number of levels. And so just that initiative itself was really quite historic for the profession to take such a leading role in such an important piece of legislation. And then to see the evolution of the different committee reports and finally the draft bill, I think was very historic for the CMA in the degree of influence that we had in that process and the degree of respect that was afforded to us by lawmakers, by the Minister of Health, the Minister of Justice, and we're very thankful for that. We really feel like we were listened to, that our concerns were taken very seriously, and we saw each and every one of those reflected in the legislation and in other commitments that they made to pursue as part of some of the extrajudicial initiatives as well.
Were there aspects of the bill that were problematic or gray areas that you feel are unresolved?
You know, there are a few gray areas, none of them that I see problematic as long as we fill in those gaps. And that was always going to be the case because you simply can't address every type of issue in this complex scenario with federal legislation. It's an imperfect tool at the best of times. And we also recognize, of course, health is a provincial jurisdiction, so there were always going to be pieces that were left to the provinces.
How is the CMA going to support members going forward on this issue?
For members who decide not to participate, we have been vehement in our defense of their rights to conscientious objection. Not just the right to not participate, but the right to not have to refer. And I think we've achieved some great success on both those fronts. For our members who say, we will participate in this, we are providing courses and education. We are going to be the only major organization active in this area. This is a new step for us, but we've seen a gap, and we've said we will commit significant time and resources to fill that gap. So very shortly after the June 6th deadline for legislation being passed, very shortly after that, we will have a comprehensive online module that every physician in Canada can take, and it will equip them to have those conversations with their patients.
How can we fit assisted death into a greater palliative care strategy, that theme?
If nothing else, a silver lining to all of this is that we are now going to be much better equipped, I think, to deal with those 99% of patients who won't need or request assisted dying, but need our care at the end of life when a cure is no longer possible. So, I hope that over time the conversation will actually shift in exactly that direction. Once we sort of nail down the parameters for assisted dying, let's turn and let's focus on better overall care at the end of life.